Hello there. This is Tech Eva. If there's one thing I've learned after reviewing a whole bunch of home audio gear, it's that most soundbars promise surround sound, but only a handful actually get close to delivering that immersive, theater-like bubble of audio. And that's where this new setup from Ultimea, the Poseidon D70 7.1 channel soundbar system, gets really interesting. Right out of the box, it's clear this isn't your typical all-in-one bar. Ultimea has basically taken the popular 5.1 ch Poseidon D50 and dialed it up another level, giving us a wider sound field, more directional clarity, and an actual sense of positional audio with a full 7.1 ch virtual surround setup. It starts with the 3 front channels inside the main bar handling dialogue, mids, and directional cues, and this time they've added 4 wired surround speakers, 2 fronts and 2 rears. These aren't just thrown in for show. Each is designed to project precise audio from the front, back, and sides, and when you get the placement right, it creates this noticeably bigger and more atmospheric listening experience. The rear speakers run off the wireless subwoofer using a 20-foot cable, which is actually thoughtful because it gives you a ton of flexibility no matter what your room layout looks like. And speaking of that subwoofer, yeah, it's doing heavy lifting. It's a 6.5-inch wireless unit that brings depth and rumble without muddying the mid-range. If you're switching from a typical TV's built-in speakers or even an entry-level bar, you'll notice the difference instantly. There's 410 watts of peak power driving the system, so the room-filling effect is real. It doesn't just get loud, it gets full. Now, one thing you should know up front, it's not compatible with Dolby Audio or Dolby Atmos. So if you're running something like a streaming box that outputs Atmos content, you're not going to get height-based effects. But the virtual surround technology here still does a surprisingly good job at creating directionality for the price, and once you tweak levels, it gets even better. And that's where the app comes in. Ultimea's Smart App is kind of the secret sauce here. A lot of budget and mid-range soundbars let you adjust bass or treble at best, maybe switch through a couple presets. But Ultimea basically said, what if we went crazy with customization? And they did. You get 121 preset EQ matrices inside the app, each crafted around 4 sound styles: bass, pop, classical, and rock. It's honestly kind of wild to see this level of granular control in something that isn't high-end audiophile gear. If you're the type of person who likes dialing in your audio just right, this is a playground. But then Ultimea gives you even more with a full 10-band EQ and 6 EQ modes like movie, music, voice, sport, game, and night. The movie mode adds width and pushes effects outward, game mode enhances directional cues, and music tightens up vocals and instruments. The night mode actually works surprisingly well by toning down heavy bass so you don't annoy your neighbors or your family late at night. And if none of those hit just right, the Customize option lets you build your own sound curve from scratch, so you can fine-tune every moment of your audio. Connectivity is also pretty standard for a modern bar, which is good: HDMI, Optical, AUX, and Bluetooth support, so no issues there. And if you're using a TV with digital audio out, setting it to PCM is the recommended move here. Netflix content sounds best when you switch the audio track to English Original or a similar original option, because that's how you avoid compatibility issues and get the clearest signal for the system to work with. In real-world use, the Poseidon D70 actually surprised me with how well it handled dialogue. A lot of affordable systems boost bass so aggressively that voices get buried, but the center channel here is clean and doesn't get lost even during heavy action scenes. Spatiality is the big story though. When you've got the 4 surround speakers placed right, front and back, and that wireless sub tucked away somewhere unobtrusive, the whole system kind of disappears and you get drawn into your content. Airplanes flying over in movies have motion. Footsteps in games have direction. Stadium ambience during sports broadcasts feels wider and louder. And it's not just volume, it's the shape of the sound that feels bigger. It's kind of impressive that Ultimea managed to put together something this customizable and this widely spread for a price that's typically way below the big-name brands. And it's definitely aimed at people upgrading from compact bars or weak TV speakers who want something more cinematic without going into super expensive territory. It still has the limitations of a non-Atmos system, but if you approach it as a 7.1 style virtual surround setup with a ton of control, it nails the basics and goes well beyond what you'd normally expect. Overall, the Poseidon D70 is a well-executed upgrade over the D50 with more channels, more control, and a more immersive audio footprint. And Ultimea's continuous OTA updates through the app mean this system isn't just locked to what it ships with. They're planning to keep tuning and improving performance over time, which is not something you typically see on budget soundbars. So if you want a home theater system that fills the room, gives you a ton of manual control, and hits that sweet spot between affordability and immersion, the Ultimea Poseidon D70 is worth a look. Clean design, wireless sub, actual surround speakers, and enough EQ options to make an audio nerd smile. It's doing a lot right.